Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Godless Journey. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a list of 10 questions for atheists from an atheist. I originally saw this on Dallas Wade's channel. It was actually his responses to these questions. So I'll put a link for him down below as well as a link to the original video. And without further ado, cue the intro music.
Here are 10 questions that I have for my fellow atheists. If you are a former theist, at what age did you become an atheist?
I became an atheist at the age of 32. It took me a while to get there, but better late than never, I suppose. I did go through quite a few years of doubting things. I remember talking to a pastor about it one time and saying something to the effect of, well, if God exists, he'd want me to use the mind that he gave me and read the Bible skeptically. That didn't turn out so well.
Are you an outspoken anti-theist, or are you an atheist who doesn't mind religion?
While I understand the actual purpose of your question, it is kind of a false dichotomy. It's definitely more of a range than this or that. But to answer your question, I am an anti-theist, at least online. Not completely out to everybody yet as an atheist, which is why you see my beautiful avatar instead of my beautiful face. That and you might get scared.
What do you consider to be the best argument for God?
The best argument for the existence of God is not really an argument per se, but personal experience. I know that it's easy for those of us who've kind of lived through it to see that these personal experiences that people have with God can easily be explained by some other natural process. But in the same vein, when you have that worldview, there's really no other option. So I can understand how someone would be compelled to believe with those anecdotes.
What do you consider to be the best argument against God?
I guess the best argument against God would be that of non-necessity. Every time we've attributed some natural force to a God, it's later been shown to have a natural process behind it. So just because we don't know the answer to something doesn't mean we get to say God did it in there.
Do your loved ones, as in parents or significant other, genuinely fear that you'll go to hell? And if they do, how do you deal with their fear?
As far as my loved ones being afraid of my eternal soul, most of them don't know. And the few that I have talked to about this have blown me off and given me answers like, it's just a phase, you'll grow out of it.
What religion do you consider to be the worst?
Which religion do I think is the worst? The ones that make you suspend your critical thinking skills and make it a sin to question any doctrine within it. Those ones would be the worst. So, all of them?
Is there an argument that you wish fellow atheists would stop using?
Are there arguments that I wish fellow atheists would stop using? It's funny, Cyrus the Skeptic actually did a whole video on some of the arguments that atheists should stop using. The biggest one that comes to mind for me, though, is calling people who believe in a religion delusional or irrational. There are rational ways to come to incorrect conclusions.
Have you ever changed the mind of a theist after a discussion or debate?
Have I ever changed the mind of a theist during a discussion or debate? Not really. I mean, I'm still pretty much a baby atheist, and I'm still trying to get my bearings as to what life is like without God.
What advice do you have for atheists who are brought up in religious households in communities who fear telling their peers about their lack of belief in God?
My advice to anyone scared of talking to people about their lack of belief in God is that you don't owe it to anybody to share your belief or lack thereof in God. If you think you've got a safe person to talk to about it, go for it. If you want to start a conversation, maybe check out Street Epistemology. It's kind of a great conversational piece as to talk about these kinds of beliefs in a very non-confrontational way. But most importantly, stay safe.
What do you think of self-proclaimed gay Christians and gay Muslims, considering that neither one of their respective holy books are fond of homosexuality?
I don't think it's all that difficult to be gay and religious. Well, let me back up. It's difficult to be gay and religious, but I don't think it's that difficult to hold those two ideas in your head, because I don't necessarily think that they're mutually exclusive. Yes, their holy books say that homosexuality is a sin, but it also lists hundreds of other sins that people commit. So I find it can be just as easily dismissed as any of those other arbitrary things like, I don't know, wearing clothes of two different fabrics, or getting tattoos, or eating shellfish. Things that everybody does anyway. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like. If you've got something you want to say, leave a comment. If you want to answer the questions, put them in the comments or make your own video and put your link in the bottom. If you like what you've seen so far, hit subscribe. That'd be fantastic. And remember, getting there is half the fun.